Now it's time for some breaking news! Hey, buddy. Okay. Hey, anyways, I'm going to get into it. So the first thing I want to talk about, just one more time, everybody. One time. Hopefully it's the last time. Cocaine Bear. So Cocaine Bear is coming out. It's coming out to digital rental or purchase for $19.99 or for $24.99. So $19.99 to rent, $24.99 to buy. You might as well buy at that point. Come on, everybody. Not streaming anywhere yet, but you can get your Cocaine Bear fix now on DVD in your own living room. So enjoy it now, and hopefully that's the last time we talk about Cocaine Bear. But you never know. You never know. Cocaine Bear. That's all I'm saying. No, something else that just started. You got to see it. I mean, I haven't seen it yet either. I think it's going to be good, though. I think it's going to be good. I don't know. I hope it's good. I heard from people that have seen it, though, they still say that there should be more carnage. You know, you expect, like, everyone to die, like a bear on cocaine, right?
Low body count?
Yeah, low body count.
I'm disappointed already.
Yep, low body count. So
I mean, I don't think it's, I mean, good is like a relative term, but I think it might be something that's worth watching in a different way. You know what I mean? Like, I think it will be entertaining. I don't know if I'm going to throw good out there, you know?
Yeah, well, I'm excited for it still. I mean, I haven't had a chance to see it in theaters, but
oh, I'm excited for it. But like, good is something that you reserve for, like, you know, Pulp Fiction or, you know, the new Evil Dead movie that's coming out. You know what I mean? Like things that, like, you know, like I feel like good. Like Cocaine Bear is probably not going to be good in that way, but it's definitely going to be like, you know, maybe a movie classic or something, you know, that you enjoy in a different way. You know? Yeah, yeah.
Well, something everybody else.
Was a good description.
That's what I'm saying. It's a movie. It's going to be a movie. At the end of the day, it's going to be a movie. Now, whether it's great or bad or amazing or horrible, like, only time will tell for ourselves. Because I think it's mixed reviews, you know. And Elizabeth Banks wants to do more stuff with it. She wants to do some Cocaine Shark still, but we're going to talk about that later. We'll get to some Cocaine Shark stuff. But something else that just came out is Ted Lasso Season 3. That's right, everybody. It is out now. The very first episode. It started actually I started at midnight on the East Coast yesterday, and 9 p.m. 9 p.m. on the West Coast. So now it's out. Apple TV Plus. You can check out the very first episode. There's going to be 12 episodes this season, as we said before. And then Ted Lasso is gone, and that's it. And that's the end of Ted Lasso. And we've said multiple times that Jason Sudeikis said this is it. They had a 3-season arc, and it's done. So, you know, enjoy it now, and hopefully it's the best ending that they can make, because that's what they said. It's going to be, you know, everything they planned for, which is what is important. So at least the show gets to go out on the way that it's meant to go out, that it wants to go out, and not, you know, being yanked off the air. So, yeah, it's exciting. Lexi, have you seen this yet? Did you get a chance to watch it yet, or no?
Nope.
Me either.
Lexi,
Me either. No.
Well, but you've watched the other seasons of Ted Lasso, yeah?
No.
Oh,
no.
You gotta watch it.
Lexi, I swear to God, and like I don't know how much you respect my opinion after knowing this of the show. It is literally one of the best shows I have ever watched. I tell everyone that I can to watch it. Yes.
Apple TV, yeah.
That's the only reason. I just don't have Apple TV.
It is so good, and we're gonna find a way for you to watch it, because it is like literally you have to see it. My mom was like, I don't want to watch it. Like, it's about soccer. I'm like, it's not about soccer. And then I went and visited her, and I forced her to watch it, and she literally texted me 42 times yesterday and was like, Ted Lasso is out right now. Like, she's that obsessed with it. Like, it's literally like, if you give it a shot, I promise you will love it.
I know. I had no faith in it when I first saw it coming out. I put it on a whim. The very first episode, I'm like, I don't know about this. And then, you know, first episode bleeding into the first whole season, I was just like, I just loved it so much. To bring it to it, just like it just hooked us. So, you know, everyone loves it. A lot of people love it. I should say, not everybody, but everybody. A lot of people love it, and it's out for the last season, first episode at least. Check it out on Apple TV Plus now if you're a big fan of the show. That's come back.
I just don't have Apple TV.
We're gonna make it happen, girl.
Yeah, we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna make it happen somehow. We're gonna figure that out. We'll talk about that after the show. We're gonna make this happen, because you and Rachel have to see it.
Never mind.
Yes, Sabrina?
Something bad. I think we have screeners for it. I can send her.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Zach, we don't have screeners. I don't know what you're saying. It's ridiculous.
As that's come back, something that's leaving is Three Pines. So Three Pines is leaving Amazon after one season. Now, they had big hopes for this show because it was the first big show that was actually about Indigenous people, and they were really pushing it. They were really excited about it. It's about, it was supposed to be like this big thing. They had a bunch of seasons planned, but the Crown producer who started it left after the first season, and then it got canceled shortly after. And a lot of people are saying it's difficult to process. Has been working on it because they expected a lot more out of it. Now, it had a lot of praise. It was actually ranked number 1 on Prime Video in the U.S., Canada, and the U.K. at one point when it first came out. It stars Alfred Molina as an inspector, and Three Pines follows the protagonist as he investigates cases beneath the surface of Quebec village of Three Pines. He solves numbers of murder mysteries, and the series has been left on a cliffhanger where he's been kidnapped and his people are trying to find him. So if you watch this and you've seen the very first season, you're left with wondering what happened to Alfred Molina. Well, maybe he ended up in the multiverse and got sucked into Spider-Man, and that's what happened to him. And he became Doc Ock again. But if you're a fan of this, yeah, unfortunately it's going away after one season. And they had high hopes for it. But I don't know, I never really heard of it again. It's like one of those things that as we've gotten to do the show, I'm getting to research more stuff that I've never known that's actually out there. It's actually inspired me to watch stuff too. But the thing is, there's so much content that I want to share with everybody out there when stuff gets canceled, because it may be off my radar, but it might be on yours. So unfortunately, if you're a fan, it's going away. Lexi, did you see this at all?
Nope. Is it Canadian?
It takes place in Canada. I mean, that's as much as that.
It's like you said Quebec, and I was like, it's got to be Canadian, and I'm like, oh, is this another failed Canadian project? So.
They tried. Sabrina, you didn't see this either, did you?
A non-failed Canadian project. Ryan Reynolds, everybody, friend of the show.
And moving on from that, I have to say, moving on from Ryan Reynolds. You know, there was a story today about Ryan Reynolds, and I pushed that shit because I'm like, I don't want to talk about Ryan today. We talk about Ryan a different day. A different day. Speaking of love, the new Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, they're saying, is at the bare bones, it's a love story. Now, you know, the first one there was love hinted a lot between Gwen Stacy and Miles Morales, but they're saying that love is going to grow a lot.
Spider-Gwen?
Well, Spider-Gwen, yeah, but they're saying this is really at the root of it all, it's a love story. So they're going to focus on Miles and Gwen kind of growing into a couple. They're also going to focus on Peter B. Parker, and he actually is going to be a father now. So him and Mary Jane get back together, and they have a kid, so they're going to have that part of the multiverse stuff. That's Amy Pascal was talking about this, and she was saying, you know, the danger of a sequel is to go too big. You know, everyone says bigger, 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 but all the bells and whistles aren't good unless you care about the characters, and that's why they're going for a love story between Miles and Gwen. So which I was like, you know, I figured there would be more about the love between the two of them, because they kind of hinted at that. Of course, he had a little schoolboy crush on her. They had the whole sequence where they got stuck together, and then it kind of blossomed from there. So it makes sense, right? It makes sense. But, you know, there's also going to be a lot of action.
I think like romance isn't an integral part of every Spider-Man ever.
Yeah, right. Like it's
100%.
The staple.
Like he needs to have like Spider-Man's always had his Mary Jane, you know, or Gwen Stacy in the Andrew Garfield ones, or that was just from the comic books, you know. He's always had.
I will say this: the first Into the Spider-Verse was like literally my favorite Spider-Man movie, like by leaps and bounds. And it didn't have a love thing, the first one. I mean, yes, it was like he was longing for her, whatever, like, but there wasn't really, like, it didn't flesh it out. And it was like, I loved it so much. I really, really did. It was, I mean, probably because it was such a different take on things. And, you know, the way, I didn't mind that they made, what is her name? She was Doc Ock in that, but she was also the villain in WandaVision. Amy, she was in Step Brothers. I love her so much.
Yeah, I see her face.
I know you're talking about. I can't think of.
You know, like driving me nuts.
Catherine Hahn. Catherine Hahn.
Yay! Yes, that's her. Good job, Brian.
Yeah.
I love.
She was great as Doc Ock.
Yeah, I love that she was Doc Ock. I loved like all the weirdness about it. I liked it so much more in cartoon form. It was like just easier to digest, I guess, but it was a great opening to the whole multiverse shit that they've, you know, exposed us to now in live action. So I'm excited about that because they were so cute, and I think it's going to be great. But like, I don't know that it needed it. but I'm here for it.
Yeah. Yeah, they need it. Like Lexi said, like Peter Parker has always had his love interest. It's always a big part of it. So this makes sense. Miles Morales has to have the same thing. I mean, he's a superhero, but he also is like everybody else. He falls in love like everybody else. So it's great. They have to have that dynamic. It's part of the whole thing that makes the magic of the show. So they're going to have more of that. It's going to get deeper into a love story. What do you think about that? Let us know. Something else that I'm not too sure about, though, is doing a remake to Escape from New York. So that's moving forward. It's happening. It's happening, Lexi. It's happening. And I'm like, do we need to do this? This is, again, Hollywood rebooting stuff. There's a couple reboots we're going to talk about today. But Escape from New York, the group Radio Silence is doing this. And they actually did the reboot of the Scream movies that have launched and kind of started over again. So they've done that. That's what they started. They brought back life to that. They're like, we're going to bring back life to Escape from New York, which it doesn't really need. Now, John Carpenter is not directing, of course, but he is executive producer on this. 20th Century Studios is involved. So there are people from the initial stuff, that are involved with this. But I don't know, like, can this trio, there's like a trio of people that were involved with this. Can they do it again? They did Scream, it did well. But do we need to have, Lexi's going to say, no, I'm going to ask Lexi. Lexi, do we need to have this? Like, what do you think?
No. Like, why? Like, who's it for? I mean, the original Escape from New York is so perfect. Escape from LA, I mean, it's not great, but Russell Crowe is perfect I'm sorry, not Russell Crowe, but
Kurt Russell, yeah.
He's perfect in it. He's great. I mean, everything's great in it. There's no reason to go back and tackle it again unless he's coming back to reprise the role and do a third one, which I would be fine with him coming back and doing a third one, because old him doing that role again, that's fine.